And we're gonna switch gears.
All right.
Get to the
I know what you
meat
want to talk
of the
about.
get to the
I know what
meat
you want.
of this
The
conversation
big
here.
story.
And that is my favorite team. Born and raised New York Knicks fan here, in case you guys are new to the pod. And I'm trying to convert Bill to join us in the orange and blue.
I don't think I'd be welcomed. I said something really dumb about Brunson a couple years ago. I think I'm like out of the. I didn't know he could do this. I was
In
wrong. I didn't
fairness,
realize.
a lot of people had opinions about Jalen Brunson. And I guess, hindsight is 2020. We talk about this often. There were Knicks fans who were kind of like, I don't know. And listen, rightfully so. We didn't really see much from him. We only saw that small spurt. Obviously, when Luka went down those games, and that's kind of what like put the spotlight on him. But before that, it's not a name that people were really talking about unless you were a Dallas Mavericks fan. You weren't very familiar. It's not like he ever made an all-star game before. He's never been on that kind of a platform. But Jalen Brunson just goes to show what is for you is meant for you and will come when it is ready. But listen, they beat the Warriors last night, 119 to 112, and they did it obviously without OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, and Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson had 34, Miles McBride 29, Josh
The
Hart.
Miles McBride game.
We like to say
He was balling.
deuce. That's how we say it when he does something dope in New York. Hartenstein 13, DiVincenzo, Big Ragu, as we like to call him, 18 points. Josh Hart with a triple double. I mean, listen, anybody who ever said the Knicks weren't deep might be stand corrected.
Can I gently push back on that, or can I put credit for their depth? Tom Thibodeau is sort of a divisive figure as a coach. I mean, he's obviously a great coach, right? But there is this reputation, and I think it is well founded, that he wears people down. You know, the old joke that his rotation, right? How deep does he go? 5 guys, and the Derrick Rose years are just all wear and tear. But he also squeezes every last drop of talent from the guys that he uses, and I think that there's a little more, not a lot, but a little more flexibility in how many guys he uses. And even as offensively this year, before Anunoby came in, really good team offensively, and strangely for a Tibbs team, not great, Ash. Defensively, now with Anunoby, they're better defensively, and it's been impressive. You're right. All those names that you just rattled off, who are sort of secondary guys or guys we didn't. I mean, you're Deuce. How do I say it?
Deuce.
I mean, that's just a random guy who. So give Thibodeau credit, I think, for how impressive it has been in getting real minutes and real quality from players without Randall, without when OG's been out.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson. I think that's a coaching reality, and that's a Thibodeau reality.
I mean, everybody outside of Jericho Sims had points. Everyone saw minutes. Jericho Sims had the least amount of minutes with only 4, but Burks, Achua, Bogey, those guys also saw minutes. But I think to your point about squeezing every drop out of your players, the alarming fact here is that Miles McBride saw 46 minutes and Josh Hart saw 48 minutes.
That's crazy. I mean,
it's not a point, Bill.
Although I was sort of a doubter when he went. You are depleted, and you do want to win these games, and you are on a West Coast road trip that is not easy. And I know the Warriors didn't play particularly well last night, but I think I'm wrong. The Warriors are still dangerous. They have these moments in them. So to go and win that game without any of your stars other than Brunson is really impressive. And I guess in this scenario, you want to play guys 48 minutes. You can play him 48 minutes because you don't have a lot of options.
I mean, there's multiple ways to kind of dissect this, but I'm going to start on the Knicks side and then go back to the Warriors because some alarming news in the midst of all the good news that transpired with the Knicks going 3-0 on their West Coast road trip so far is OG Anunoby will most likely miss the rest of the New York Knicks West Coast trip because of what the team is calling injury management. Now, Tom Thibodeau, the alarming part about this, though, is that he did not supply a timeline for the injury beyond this week, but he did say that OG underwent a MRI on his elbow and it did come back clear. So that's good news. The fact that there is no longer a timetable is a little bit alarming because the Knicks are 15-2 with him in the lineup.
So we talk a lot. I think it's a straw man argument. We talk a lot about how the regular season doesn't work in the NBA or matter in the NBA. Not true. And I think what you just said is such a great point on Anunoby And I think to a lesser degree, it's true for the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves don't have a choice with Cat, but both of these teams have built the cushion through regular season excellence. And what I think is interesting about the Knicks, they're not going to be in the play-in, right? Do they want the highest seed in home court as much as they can get it? Of course they do. But you can actually protect OG Anunoby if it's 50-50, right? If it's because it's just time and it sounds like it's rest and you want that elbow to be okay. You have done well enough in the regular season. And really, in many cases, Jalen Brunson has done well enough in the regular season with Randall being out and when Anunoby's been out and before Anunoby got traded. I mean, this has been a team that's built this cushion. And I like for your team, Ash, and for the Knicks chances that they can kind of say, you know what? If we were in that 7-8, if we were in that 8-9, if we were the Warriors or the Lakers, maybe we'd have to play Anunoby, but we don't have to. And we can try to maximize the likelihood he's good for the playoffs. Because to your point, their ability, I think, to be cautious with him, which is not what a Thibodeau team typically does with a star, is really, really good news for planning for what they want to accomplish this season.